Hi, my name is James. I'm a knee, foot and ankle specialist, and today I'm going to talk you through 5 of the best shoes for walking on concrete. They can also be used for running on concrete, but today we'll primarily focus on walking. So we've got 5 shoes in the lineup. We've got New Balance 1080 and New Balance More V4. We've got the Hoka Bondi 8. We've got the Mizuno Wave Inspire, and we've got the Asics Gel-Kayano. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the weight of the shoes, because that's really important. If you're slogging around all day or you have to lift them up if they're extra heavy, it can really fatigue your legs and your feet. So we've got 3 of the heavier shoes here, which are the Asics, Mizuno and the Hoka. They sit between 303 and 305 grams for men's 9 US. Then you've got a slightly lighter shoe in the More V4 that sits around 295 grams, and then with the 1080 V13 it's definitely the lightest. It sits around 262 grams. Then in terms of the fit, they're all relatively roomy in the toe box with the exception of the Hoka Bondi 8, so you might need to think about getting a slightly wider version or a slightly longer version if you have trouble with that in the past. Otherwise, typically with the New Balance, they're renowned for having extra space in the toe box. Then the Mizuno is really good fit if you've got a narrow heel and midfoot with a broader forefoot, especially those who have bunions. They're typically quite wide in the forefoot. That's an excellent fit. And then the Asics is a classic fit, nice and snug throughout with plenty of space in the toe box. Then we split them up into, we've got 2 primarily stability shoes, and then we've got more of a neutral base shoe. Although they have some form of stability within them, they're not as stable as what you get in the first 2 shoes, and we'll break down why that is. So first of all, with the Gel-Kayano, you've got its 4D guidance system, so it has a broad base, it has some sole flare, and it has some stability on the back corner, so the posterior lateral aspect of the shoe, so that keeps you centered as you walk. The wider base gives you a broader base of support and gives you nice and stable underneath your foot. It's slightly differently in the Mizuno Wave Inspire. It uses its energy foam and it has an S plate through the undersurface of the shoe, and that just helps guide your foot and keeps it centered in the shoe as you walk or as you run. Then in the Hoka Bondi 8, it's got a really big stack height, so it's got lots of cushioning underneath. And again, to try and give you that extra bit of stability to make up for that extra cushioning, they give you some sole flare and a wider base. So sole flare is where the cushioning comes out wider than where your foot sits in the bed, and that helps just provide again an extra base of support for you. So what I would say about the extra cushioning in a shoe, it does make a shoe a bit more unstable, and that's why a lot of these shoes have built-in characteristics to try and provide that extra stability. So you've got the wider platform, and in addition to that, Hoka are renowned for having big sidewalls on either side of the shoe, and that works just to keep your foot centered in the shoe. However, again, if you've quite a broad foot, you might find that a little bit uncomfortable. Then you've got a really big stack height in the Fresh Foam More V4, so it's packed with cushioning, and it's also got built-in sidewalls to give you that extra stability. Then with the most stack of all the shoes is the 1080 V13. It is super cushioned. I'd say it's probably the most cushioned shoe I've ever come across. Probably one of the most comfortable. It really feels like you're walking on a cloud. It's a super compliant cushioning, so that means that when you apply pressure to it, you just sink into the shoe. Really soft, really nice, really great if you're standing all day on concrete or if you're walking on concrete. So definitely one of the most comfortable shoes that we found on the market. If you're looking for something that's a bit more springier, a bit bouncier, then you look at the More V4. Then if you're looking for something that's stable and a bit bouncy, then you look towards the Mizuno. If you're looking for something that's stable but a bit more plush, so a bit more like cloud-like, then you look at the Gel-Kayano. So there you have it, 5 different types of shoes. 2 primarily stable shoes, both with a wide forefoot, more softer plush cushioning on the Gel-Kayano, a little bit more spring in the shoe, but still a stability shoe in the Mizuno, a neutral stable shoe with plenty of cushioning and a little bit of spring in it in the Hoka Bondi, a bit more spring, lots of cushioning packed in the New Balance Fresh Foam More V4, and then super cushioned, loads of padding, super comfortable but not as much spring in it in the New Balance 1080 V13. All the shoes are linked in the description below. If you've got any questions on the shoes, happy to answer in the comment section. If you found the video helpful, do like and subscribe to the channel. We've got loads of shoe content.